America, I found my phone and welcome to another video. Today is very exciting because we are getting back into Björk, and I haven't listened to her since I listened to Volta back in January now. So it's been a few months and I figured I really wanted to listen to her again. And so we're gonna go back to the beginning with her debut album, appropriately titled Debut, from 1993. I'm very excited to get into it. I've listened to a lot of projects from her now. All I have left after Debut is I need to re-listen to Post at some point because I definitely didn't appreciate it for what it was. Medulla and Biophilia. And then I know that she will hopefully be releasing an album this year as well. So when that happens, I'm very excited about it. Please let me know if you hear news about that in the comments below. But I'm really excited to see where it all started. I know that Björk was in the Sugar Cubes and had some collaborative projects prior to this, but I'm very excited to really see what she decided to do in her first solo work. Thank you for requesting this video in any way. Let's get into it. Track number 1, Human Behavior. You better get ready to get confused. There's definitely no logic. Okay, she already got that good belting going on like she is known to do now. All of a sudden turn happy, mood swings. This production is just, I don't know, catchy. Ooh, she does hit those high notes. Lovely. Strength swelling. Yes. Bring that emotion. Oh. Bring whatever that is in. Ooh, yeah, I think that's some sort of electric guitar coming in. Okay. Oh, those are definitely timpani. I was trying to figure out what drum that was. So that was Human Behavior, and well, this was her first song, like solo work after the disbanding. I realized that she actually did technically have a first album that came out when she was 11. I need to hear that for sure. But this song was so interesting because even though it's nearly 30 years old at this point, even though it's nearly 30 years old at this point, there is still so much about it that just feels very pure Björk, and not necessarily something that sonically fits on some of her later projects, because I don't know, that timpani and that stuff, even though she definitely has dabbled into those certain vibes, I wouldn't say that production wise it felt more reminiscent of something else. But within her vocals, first of all, there's a ton of gibberish in it, which she did a ton of on Utopia, which was, you know, at this point, her latest release. And then also just the way she does harmonies with herself and how she belts out and stuff like that. It just is very distinctly Björk, and what makes her such a distinct artist that people know this is a Björk song. I don't really get her confused with really anyone else. So I like this. The song is about humans being moody and how their behavior really makes no sense. Apparently this song, at least, and I think a lot of this album might have been written when she was fairly young. I think Human Behavior she wrote when she was a teenager trying to understand adults, and it didn't really make sense. And honestly, fair, as an adult, they don't make sense. No one really makes a whole lot of sense. So I think this song really carries that. I think it's also interesting that she employs a bunch of gibberish, because that's how you know it really doesn't make sense. And I think it's also interesting that there's so much gibberish in it, but the song was actually fairly popular and is one of her most popular songs, apparently. That's so interesting, where like half the song you don't actually get the message in terms of a direct way. But you do get the message in an indirect way of things just not really making sense. I enjoy the song both lyrically and sonically. I think it's a fun time. It's a groovy. Is it a homogenic level? Which, if you haven't seen my reactions before, I'm definitely a homogenic stan. It's not at that level, but it's definitely a song I could see myself really getting into, especially on more lessons. Track number 2 is Crying. Oh, are we not going to be bopping anymore? Okay, I think we're still bopping. Oh shoot, we gonna bop. Oh, this is gonna scratch that itch. I traveled all around the city. Where are we going? In and out of locomotives. There's people everywhere. Oh, is that the vibraphone coming in? I love a good vibraphone. Oh, that shout there just felt right. This is such a rainbow of color. Are we sure we're not in post? Just aesthetically, not necessarily musically. There's no one here. And people everywhere, so that's a paradox. I can't tell what she's saying in this chorus. I can't tell if that's gibberish or if I'm just missing it. Just something? I'm just inventing dance moves over here. So good. Can't tell if that's gibberish or if she's saying turtle. It gives off that vibe. Oh, I think she's just saying duh. I like how in both of these songs there was like a break where it's just like vocals. So that was Crying. That was a fun song. It was definitely groovy. It's got that upbeat, fun vibe, even though it's a sad song. It's called Crying for a reason. It's not happy tears. It's this feeling of loneliness and isolation, especially among a crowded city where no one really knows who you are. No one cares about you. You're just moving on through, and you'll exist, and they'll exist too, but you're still gonna feel vulnerable and you're still gonna feel lonely, even with so many people around you. That explains the paradox before, and it also seems like it might be crying over an ex as well, because it's crying because I need you, crying because I care, and yeah. So she's feeling those things, but we're still in the hustle and bustle of city life, and so it's still going to be a song that's to dance to, which is exciting. It's interesting to think about, like, in comparison to some displays of happiness she's shown on later works like Volta and Utopia, how such discussions of happiness are very long and very slow, and this is talking about something much sadder, but it's very fast. It does still take up a decent amount of time, like it's nearly a 5-minute song, but it's still a very fast-paced song. Yeah, I think that's just really interesting to know, that shift in taking a lot of breather to discuss things at depth about how much you love these things versus just kind of pushing through and dancing through the sadness on the song. I also noticed that at the end, it's just her vocals by itself. And I'm realizing now, that's a stroke of genius there, that she's feeling alone in this crowded city. So this is a very crowded song, sonically and instrumentally. It's very cluttered. I love a good amount of clutter, but it is cluttered. But at the end, it's just her, because at the end of the day, she's alone, even among all these people. Love that. Okay. I like when the song sonically really works with the message. That's really cool. Track number 3 is Venus as a Boy. This is also another one of her more popular songs, but I've never heard it, so I'm excited to see how it sounds. Okay. This kind of gives a Human Behavior type of rhythm. But I'm excited to see how it continues. Oh, there's a little string swell. I hear his fingers, but that's all I've deciphered. Oh, he's Venus as a boy. This is a love song. Oh, I like how we just stripped it back a little bit. Oh, bring some of this. I don't even know what that is, but I like it. It's very pretty. He believes in beauty. Oh. This kind of gives the energy of pre-Vespertine, I guess. She seems so adoring of this person. I'm not even sure if like they're in a relationship. Okay, yeah, we keep stripping it back down to just either the instrumentation or just the vocals. It's a very common thread here. Oh, we're just having a casual fade out? Alright. So it was Venus as a boy, and that was a fun little lovely number. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a song that's very about love. Definitely foreshadows Vespertine to me. Is there sensuality represented in the song? Yes. But I can't say really in comparison to pagan poetry or Cocoon or like there's some other stuff on Vespertine that just is like, oh. You know what I mean? But this one is cute. It definitely does have some explicitness to it, but it's a little more coy about it than saying stuff really outright and doing some elaborate, intimate metaphors. The song is about this boy that Björk sees as essentially Venus, and that he's essentially a god of love, or just the male equivalent of the goddess of love, rather, because I guess Eros would be a little bit different, like her Cupid. I feel like that might be a little bit different. She talks about how he focuses on her. And I don't know if that her in the song is actually Björk or if it's just this other female character, and that Björk is really seeing this from an outside perspective of being like, wow, he's so good to her, and really focuses on loving her and sees her beauty, and not just her aesthetic beauty, but just the beauty of everything that she does. Yeah, I don't know exactly if she's talking from her own personal experience or more of someone else's experience. She doesn't like talking about who songs are in particular about, especially I think in her early work. I feel like Utopia was a lot clearer about what songs are about, because in general, she kind of point blank would say stuff like tabula rasa. I'm not gonna deal with the mistakes of the father. Like it's much more clearer than back here, where I guess media is a little bit less invasive. I'm sure it's still invasive to some degree, but not to the point where every day you see media everywhere you go. I feel like it's a little less avoidable now. I overall like this song. Is it my favorite so far on the album? No, but I still enjoy it. It's not something I want to skip, at least for now. Track number 4 is There's More to Life Than This, and it's the live version. I wonder if it's gonna sound like it's live, or if it's just the instrumentation that was done during live performances. I don't know. It may disrupt the flow if it's the live version and it's like physically live versus the regular one. So if I hear something that is confusing because it's live, let me know if it's different than the original. I hear some external noise. Is that because it's live? Okay. Okay. Why is this fun? That's not me denying that Björk can't be fun, but this is groovy. I'm hearing noise, but I don't know if it's like the party or if it's actually just live. It's still early morning. Go down to the harbor. see the sun come up. Okay, party anthem time. There's more to life than this. Oh, did it? What? Did she mute everything? She did. Chaotic. This is a fun dance track. You could tell me this came out recently or a long time ago, and I would believe you. It's doing it again. Is that part of it, or is that just my speaker messing up? So there's more to life than this. Okay, I read about it. You're telling me that this is entirely recorded live. That this is the main version. There is a studio version that she's done apparently, but it was not officially released on an album. It was just released, I think, as a B-side for Venus is a Boy. This was recorded at 2 in the morning at the Milk Bar, but like one that doesn't exist now. Are we still talking about the same Milk Bar that like Christina Tozzi runs, and it's popular in New York City and it's known in a lot of pastry stuff? Or is this a bar? I have no idea. But apparently, this song was recorded at 2 in the morning, and it was recorded from like the dance floor and then going into the toilet stalls for some reason, which is probably why the audio gets completely different. Oh, that's probably where the door sound hits, because like entering a stall or entering a bathroom door, and then eventually going out to the streets. That is so wild. I'm sorry, that chaotic. Just putting that on your debut international record. Like, that's something I would do. Well, I don't know if I have the networking potential to record a song live like that. But that's something I would do for something that's a lot less official. A little more unplanned. But I guess this is a woman who has gibberish on a lot of her songs. She can kind of do what she wants. She's chosen that she's going to do what she wants, and she's successful. I think she's doing just fine economically right now. So, who am I to really judge? The song is really fun. I think I probably would prefer the studio version just because that door slam, it scared the heck out of me. I think I need to hear it again, knowing all of that context and knowing that the audio is going to get a little messy. I think I need to hear that in headphones and see how I really vibe to it. The studio version is not going to be available on Spotify or anything like that, so that could hamper my ability to really enjoy the song. But what I am able to enjoy right now, I have enjoyed, because it's a really fun, catchy, really, it's a dance song, and it really makes me want to get up and dance. It's just saying that there's a lot of things to do and that we can have like a ton of fun and we can really enjoy the world, but also like feel it in deep ways as well. Track number 5 is Like Someone in Love. Oh, it sounds like we're still out in the streets from before. I'm acting like someone in love. Sometimes the things I do astound me. Human behavior callback. Whenever you're around, so she's almost like in love with that person. Bump into things like something in love, being so clumsy. This is so beautiful. Is this a guitar or a different type of string instrument? This wouldn't surprise me if this was also recorded live. I walk as though I have wings. Yep, that's love. Ooh, I love her doing her rasp. You know it. So that's Like Someone in Love, and this is a really sweet love song, really. The song is about every time she's around this person and she sees this person, she feels or does things that is a lot like someone in love. And I don't know if she's really in love, but she is getting some sort of feeling, for sure. Definitely head over heels, really. And crushing, at least, if not in love. I don't know what their relationship is in a sense, but this is a sweet song. Yeah, it's just very sweet. It's very simple as well. I found out it's not live, but it makes it feel alive because there's some bird song and some sea swell and some people talking in the background to make it match the calm, quiet but not alone atmosphere. Yeah, like, it gave that energy. Definitely feels just a very stripped back song from Utopia because of all the flutes and the birds. That was a whole part of that. Yeah, I wonder if at this point she ever realized she could go that far and be that distinct in the images for an album. I do not know. But this song, I enjoy, I think. It's very simple and it's very quiet compared to some of the other songs we've heard, which are much more groovier, much more bops. It's not as much of a bop. It's definitely a quiet song. And I think if I was in the mood of being infatuated or romantically involved, I feel like I would like the song better. I think it's one of those songs that you enjoy more when you're happy in that department, rather than when you're happy being single or when you're frustrated in your relationship. I feel like this is not really the song for you in that moment. But it is a cute song, and while I don't think it fits too much within this album's journey so far, at least sonically, I definitely see its place within Björk's overall discography. Track number 6 is Big Time Sensuality. Now, Björk, how much of this song will I be able to talk about after hearing it? Okay. It is a bop. Oh, we just dove in there. It's coming out. It takes courage. Ooh. Ooh. Big Time Sensuality. All right. We just met and I know I'm a bit too intimate. There's so much groove in this song. It's fun. Yes. With this type of groove, you gotta have that brass at some point. I don't know my future after this weekend. Ooh, she has some, I don't know, some muffled over her vocals a little bit. I like that sort of filtering on here. It works with the vibe. Oh, she just moaning at this point with screaming. So that was Big Time Sensuality, and I enjoyed that song sonically. A vibe, for sure. Love it. Yes. Yes. Apparently the song, production-wise, is actually a remix. Like, that was what the single was. It was actually originally a remix, but they just took that remix and was like, okay, bet this is the actual song now. I just love that chaotic nature of Björk. She makes chaos look so graceful. But this song is about a lot of things. Björk has said both that it was about actually meeting the producer who produced this song, about having this deep connection that works really well professionally, so not in an intimate way, but in just a professional way. Being an other half, much like Arco really was in Utopia. And so that's really cool to hear. I also hear that it's about a love for her friends as well, and just really enjoying each other's presence. So again, sensuality in that case is not really a very explicit thing. But it's also, in terms of this word sensuality, she mentions things being both hardcore and gentle, so taking the rough with the soft in several different ways. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun song, and I like that it has all those different interpretations. I also like the line, it takes courage to enjoy it, not thinking of happiness as something that's passive and just will come to you, and not being actively in sadness, like, you know, working through grief and stuff like that. This is taking an active step towards happiness, which is what I generally tend to do in my life. I at least try my best to do it. And I appreciate a soundtrack that works with that. So I could definitely see myself listening to this song more and enjoying it fully. Track number 7 is One Day. It is their longest song on the album at just under 5.5 minutes, which is not really that long considering it's Björk. But I just wanted to prepare myself regardless. What baby voice is that? The production sounds like it's like growing like a plant. Okay, this production's really taking its time. It's giving us that 5.5 minutes. One day it will happen. One day it'll all come true. She kind of sounds like whoever sings on Is It Cold in the Water from Sophie. Ooh. Alright. Shine Just For You. Okay. Nah. What? One day it will all make sense. Coming to some sort of logical conclusion seems consistent theme on the album. One day when you're ready. Ooh, there's a waiting game. That shift is so sudden each time, but it still works. Never Let You Down. Ooh, oh, oh. Oh, the horn is having a sense of, like, lyrics almost. It feels like a vocal layer. Burning in the Sky. Oh, oh. It will all come true. That line again. Oh, we're just gonna fade on that. Okay, so you could have played that for like 10 minutes, right? So that was One Day. That was a wonderful, optimistic song. Sonically, it's a vibe. It did feel its length. I didn't need it to be that long. Especially with just the repetition of One Day. It doesn't need to be that long. There's a lot of instrumental breaks in it too, which I do like them, but I feel like this could be reworked in my head into a 4-minute song, and I feel like I'd be more ready to enjoy it. Though I still enjoyed it, and I think it's very interesting that the beginning has that baby voice in it. I almost forgot after that 5 minutes that it was there, but it was there. And that voice apparently is almost like a stuck sound. It's not Björk's twisted voice. It's not her son. It's not someone she knows. Apparently you can hear that sound in a Swedish Pampers commercial and some other music and other sound art. So apparently that sound is, I don't know, public domain, or I guess you don't have to give attribution to it. I don't know. But it's a sample versus her just going off in the song. I feel like this song overall is just a feel-good vibe. It's just one day things will make sense. Like, everything will be great. You'll blossom. I think it's interesting. I mentioned it before, but I think the theme of trying to make sense of things, how human behavior is, there's no logic behind these humans. And then like someone in love, oh, I'm in love, or I'm acting like someone in love, I don't make any sense around that person. To here with One Day, where she's like, one day things will make sense. So it's an optimistic turn. So I'm wondering if later she's going to realize maybe things just are bound to not make sense, or things have started making sense. I feel like we might have some progress later. We have 4 songs left, so it's possible. I feel like in her later work, she has such contentment with her life. And even when she's going through stressors, she talks about it in the most beautiful of ways. So I'm intrigued to see the journey that she makes on this particular record. She also mentioned an airplane in this song, which is interesting because track number 8 is Aeroplane. Oh, that was a smooth transition here. Okay. We have had some more birdsong moments. Utopia really was a return to form. Okay, this is giving different version of a New Orleans type of band. Okay, now we're getting into some more drum vibes. This is also giving me title energy as well. I miss you terribly. Oh, we're sad again. Taking an aeroplane. Taking it across the world to follow my heart. Okay, now you're getting jazzy. This does feel a little catch you down in New Orleans. I'm so sorry to anyone from the area. I know it's New Orleans. I just grew up with the Orleans part. Only one person in the world can make me complete. One touch. She's really into sensuality. Ooh, okay, a little percussive vibe outro. Oh, there's like this little atmospheric moment towards the end. All right, I'll take it. So that was Aeroplane, and all right. This song gives me similar energy to Human Behavior and The Venus is a Boy. Just that vibe of that little groove with the drums. Again, that title, Fiona Apple energy that I just get on like the first taste. And just any of the songs that don't feel like just pure ballads on title. That's how I feel about this song. This song is about her lover being away. I don't think it's a breakup, actually. She's flying in an aeroplane to follow her heart, and her heart is saying that she can't be away from this person. So she's getting on that plane to follow her heart. Yeah, I think they're not broken up. I think they're just physically apart. To use a more recent example, like Come Back, Be Here from Taylor Swift's Red album. Incredible body of work. This is also an incredible body of work. Definitely different vibes. For this song, maybe it's just because it's late. I am filming this pretty late at night. So maybe it's just some sleepiness setting in. But this song was not as interesting as some of the other songs we've heard on the record so far. So I think I need to hear it again when it's a little more like daytime out and see if this song jumps out to me more. It definitely feels like it fits just more in line with some other stuff. It's sad, like a couple other songs on here, and it also has that type of drum groove vibe that some other songs again have here. And while I do like that grooviness, I don't think I need that exact sound for that many songs. Track number 9 is Come to Me. Okay. This feels a little slower. Slower but more grandiose. I understand, but what do you understand? You know that I adore you. Oh, this is a love song then. So don't make me say it. Your building is on fire. Oh, what? I'll touch you. Okay. We're getting intimate. You know that I love you. Wow. Oh, just calmly fades out too. So that was Come to Me, and this is another love song from this record where she meets this person and there's definitely some love and adoration between them, but saying it, that you love them and adore them, apparently saying those things could burst the bubble, it could break the moment and the magic and the spell that's between you. I guess the mystery and the captivation is really just so alluring that if you read it with direct admissions of feelings, it's ruined. I don't subscribe to this narrative. Nah, I think you should be open about your communication and share that. Do you have to say, oh, I love you on like the first date if you are feeling like a love at first sight moment? Maybe you shouldn't do that. But I think this is more of, wow, I'm so dedicated to you so quickly, and we both feel the same way, but we're not gonna say it. Nah, not my thing. I have a friend who is interested in this person, and this person is showing very, very obvious signs that they're interested in my friend, and it's very frustrating that they're just not acting on it. And if you just act on it, like, you could have like an amazing time. And I don't know. I don't know the exact situation that this is on. I mean, it was the 90s, so it's a different time, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this song sonically was pretty wonderful. Lyrically, it's not a deal breaker for her to talk about that, but it's not my favorite message to adhere to. As opposed to Big Time Sensuality, for example, where you're taking an active role towards happiness. Take an active role. You're being inconsistent here, Björk. What the heck? And it's not a relatable thing for me, like crying or human behavior. But it's overall a pretty, it's a slow vibe. It washes over you. And it is wonderful sonically. Lyrically, Björk and I wonder if you still feel the same way. Track number 10 is Violently Happy. There's this trend in songs I listen to that contain the word happy in the title, or happiness, or something like that, where that song hits differently. Happiness from Taylor Swift, or Happy from Julia Michaels, Happier from Bastille and Marshmello. Those songs, they just hit. I don't really know why, but it just seems to be the case. And so I'm scared for this, because generally songs that contain happy in their title are not necessarily that happy. So we'll see if this wrecks me. But I don't know. I have a feeling it might be an upbeat number too. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, I have no idea what you're saying. You're singing so slowly. I think I was pretty wrong. Hasn't got room? Okay, we're picking it up. Pick it up. Okay, let's vibe. Violently Happy Because I Love You. Another love song? But You're Not Here? Is this Aeroplane callback? Stand by the Ocean. And I Roar Back? I'll get into trouble from being violently happy. Oh, cool. Okay. Glitch it up, glitch it up. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, you're driving a car with static music. Jump off roofs? Oh. So that was Violently Happy, and that was a fun song in terms of it being dance and fast. It gave me, there's more to life than this type of like house dance moment, and I enjoyed it for that. Lyrically, it's happy and not, because it's about her lover being someone who calms her down and is able to exchange emotions with her in a productive way when they're around. However, her lover is not around in this case. And I think it's, again, an Aeroplane moment where they're just not there physically. They're working different places. I'm sure with the fact that, you know, she's from Iceland and the fact that, you know, the economy can mean that you have to travel elsewhere for certain things, they might be gone more often than here, where driving to a lot of different places to get what you need and to do business and stuff like that is more common, probably. I can't speak for all of Icelandic culture or anything like that. But also, this is the 90s, so communication about those types of things, it's harder to do digitally when the internet is still in more infant stage and social media is really not a thing at that point. So that's also, I guess, something to keep in mind as I think about these songs. But anyway, when her lover is gone and out of town for whatever reason, the small town really can't handle her big feelings. She is going a little stir crazy, essentially, but it gets more and more dangerous and destructive as time goes on. At first, it's like, oh, I'm just dancing around the room, or I'm gonna roar back at the ocean. But then over time, it turns into like, oh, I'm getting a little too drunk. I'm daring people to jump off roofs with me. Like, not in the right headspace. And she needs her person to come back and be that, like, rock, and that person to keep her grounded from going too far. I said oof regarding lyrics before because it feels almost like a personal attack, so I'm not gonna go into any more detail about that. But adrenaline junkies and emotion junkies unite. Track number 11, last track on this album, the Anchor Song. Okay, more horns, let's go. I live by the ocean, okay. You dive into the ocean at night? That's dangerous. Underneath all the currents. You okay? Oh, you drop your anchor there. Okay. Yeah, so I think she's just repeating her little story again, just to make sure that we heard it the first time. These horns almost sound like ship horns, like that we hear at the end of Earth Intruders in Volta. Oh, that horn especially at the end. Very ship-like. So that was the Anchor Song, and a very calm way to end this album. Yeah. It gives Aeroplane, but even calmer vibes. I think Aeroplane was the one that had the stuff that I kept saying New Orleans stuff in there. Just because of the saxophone that is played. It's played in both this song and that one. I think different melodies. But this song feels more like a poem to me. And that she's just talking about how she lives by the ocean, and every night she dives into it and drops her anchor there. That's where she's staying, that's where she's home. And that's where she feels the most comfortable, that's where she feels the most at peace. And it's a nice calming song. Definitely not the vibe of like all these house and dance and electronic stuff that I feel like we're more accustomed to from Björk, especially on this project in particular, and at this point in her career. Yeah, so this is more distinct. This is all produced by Björk. And considering how Björk liked to produce on later solo work that was also just primarily produced by her, it makes sense. Like, I think of the couple songs on Utopia that aren't Björk and Arca, where it's just Björk, really, who created the song. This song feels a lot like that. And I'm okay with that, but this is definitely not going to be my favorite on here. It feels more like a poem rather than a song. And that's okay, it's just not the vibe that I personally like to listen to when I choose to have some music to seek out. So with that, we have finished Debut, and I have to say I enjoyed the album. I like seeing where she started, at least in the solo international space. I'm excited to continue diving into her discography at some point. Please let me know which Björk album you'd like me to check out next, or any other artists that you think I might like. I still have posts to re-listen to. I have listened to it before, but not on the channel, and it's been years, and I didn't really give her the appreciation that the album deserved, and that she deserved, really, at the time. And then Medulla and Biophilia. I think that's it, except for like any soundtracks or any live performances of stuff like that. But that's where we're at. So I'm excited to dive into these songs again. I have to sleep now, but I'm excited tomorrow to really dive into those, like Human Behavior, Crying, There's More to Life Than This, Big Time Sensuality, maybe Violently Happy if it doesn't hit me too hard. Yeah, the first half of this album definitely like a lot stronger in my opinion, but maybe that's just some sleep needs coming in. But I think there's a lot more energy in the first half too, and a lot more maybe focus. I don't even know if I agree with that on the focus part, but definitely a lot more energy. There's a lot more dancing and a lot more excitement, and I feel like the second half, like post Big Time Sensuality, it starts being a lot more calmer, which is cool to see that she's always had a sense of calm energy and a lot of chaotic energy at the same time. And I guess it really shows a true debut, where a lot of good debut albums will show all the different directions that you can really go. It's your debut album and you want to have more opportunities to explore. I think that's really helpful. The fact that Crying, Big Time Sensuality, and the Anger song are all on the same album is chaotic to me. Or Human Behavior and Violently Happy. You're telling me those are on the same album. It doesn't make sense. It's not necessarily the most cohesive project. I think there are songs that are cohesive together, but it kind of forms little chunks, but you'd have to like put it in a certain order to fit within those chunks. There's songs of love, there's songs of missing someone, there's songs of looking forward to a better day. And I think those themes are very essential in Björk's work. And I think this album really holds up. I don't think of it as an album like, oh, she really has moved on past these things. No, like this is really showing Björk at her core before she really has her legacy to really stand behind. This is her trying things out, being a little chaotic at times, being a little simple at times, being herself. And herself is really a beautiful person to see and a beautiful masterpiece of art to see as well. With that said, here are some of my favorites of the top tier of the songs I love, the standouts, the ones I'm going to be playing over and over. Songs in the middle are songs I like. They're not the top of the top, but I will add them to my playlist. And then songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they can't be your favorite song. Just means that they're not for me, and that's okay. Björk didn't make this album for me. I wasn't born yet, so she'd have to have a lot of foresight in order for that to happen. If you like this video, please like it, please comment down below. I'd like you to react to or do next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the dark and get into my heart. You gotta do your part for a brand new start. Don't it just feel right looking in my eyes? So till we see the light, dance with me tonight. Think it's pretty.